In the labyrinthine corridors of modern horror, the spectre of H.P. Lovecraft looms large, his Cthulhu mythos a miasma of cosmic dread and existential terror. But let us, if we may, indulge in a moment of sober reflection on this subject, particularly on the nature of madness as envisioned by Lovecraft, and the prospect of his infamous cultists becoming blasé to the eldritch horrors they serve. Indeed, it is essential to draw a parallel between Lovecraft's fictional cultists and the real devotees of ancient enigmatic deities from the Paleolithic era. In both instances, the believers, whether worshipping Cthulhu or some arcane god etched in the annals of prehistoric lore, were not propelled into madness by their convictions. Their beliefs, however outlandish or bloodthirsty, were integrated into the fabric of their everyday lives as seamlessly as one might prepare their morning toast. This speaks to a remarkable aspect of human nature: the capacity to incorporate and normalize extraordinary, even bizarre beliefs within the mundane routines of daily existence. The Paleolithic worshipper, much like the imagined acolyte of Cthulhu, did not stand on the brink of sanity. Rather, they embraced their profound and esoteric convictions with the same nonchalance as they would any commonplace activity. This comparison serves to illuminate not the descent into madness, but the human ability to adapt to and coexist with a wide array of belief systems, no matter how surreal or outlandish they may seem. Lovecraft, a man of his time, was beset by the fears and prejudices that so often characterized the human condition. His portrayal of madness, this sudden cataclysmic unraveling of the mind upon confrontation with the unthinkable, the unknowable, strikes one as quaint, if not outright naive. The human mind, contrary to Lovecraft's dark fantasies, is a remarkably resilient organ, capable of adapting to even the most grotesque realities with a disconcerting ease. Consider, if you will, the cultists of Cthulhu, those devoted acolytes of the great cosmic terror lying dormant beneath the waves. Lovecraft would have us believe that these individuals are driven by a fanaticism so profound that it borders on madness. Yet one might argue that, given sufficient time in their eldritch employ, even these zealots would find the novelty of their cosmic horror waning. The human psyche has an uncanny ability to normalize the abnormal, to find the mundane in the monstrous. The idea that the mere knowledge of a being like Cthulhu could induce a sort of existential insanity is, when examined closely, a rather pedestrian understanding of human psychology. The mind, in its quest for survival, has developed an arsenal of defenses against such psychic assaults: denial, rationalization, compartmentalization. It is entirely within the realm of possibility that, after an initial period of shock and awe, the cultists would find themselves sinking into a routine. The once unfathomable mysteries of their god, now as routine as any earthly clerical duty. Faced with the surreal task of serving coffee to a massive tentacled behemoth from Lovecraft's pantheon, even this bizarre routine would succumb to the ordinariness of daily life due to the human mind's adaptive nature. Habituation would dull the initial shock, transforming the monstrous into the mundane, while the mechanics of the task itself would eclipse the creature's otherworldliness. Desensitization would render the creature's cosmic whispers as unremarkable as cafe background noise, and cognitive dissonance would compel a reconciliation of this surreal duty with the server's everyday reality. In essence, the extraordinary becomes ordinary through the mind's relentless pursuit of normalcy, turning even the most fantastical of scenarios into just another day at work. This is not to diminish the imaginative power of Lovecraft's work. Indeed, his ability to tap into the primal fears of the unknown and the other is worthy of commendation. But in his depiction of madness, Lovecraft reveals a lack of understanding, or perhaps a willful ignorance of the true nature of the human mind. Madness is not a switch to be flipped by the revelation of a hideous truth. It is a complex, often insidious process, shaped by a myriad of factors both internal and external.